I was doing all those things. I got this book called Calm that really did help. Downloaded the app to help me kind of like meditate in the mornings, all that kind of good stuff, but also kind of have like a active way to kind of to understand how I'm feeling, but also to show gratitude and to be mindful. And that's one of the things that I started to practice, and one of the things I'm grateful for actually that has come from this diagnosis, the fact that like I'm able to be introduced to like the world of mindfulness, the meditation, and really just like actively being grateful and being in the moment, and knowing, and just the whole notion of like it is quite hard to kind of put yourself in those situations to be in the moment. I was actually doing that and this really trying, but then there was one situation where I literally had another major like panic attack breakdown. I was on my way to work and I just like, my whole body, let me tell you, was literally like, felt like I was on fire. Like my mind was racing, my hearing, like all my senses were hyphenated, and I was like, oh my gosh. And one of the things that was my irrational fear was traveling on the bus and getting off the bus and walking to my destination. That was a fear of like, will I get off in time? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So, and also packed buses and packed places, which is like inevitable for a lot of people and stuff. So yeah. So that happened. So I was in the middle of fucking Portobello, so on my way to work. I literally dropped to the floor and everybody started crying. One of the girls that I used to work with saw me, grabbed me, and was like, oh my god, Sartu, are you okay? I was like, I can't do this. I can't. Sorry, I'm being very dramatic because like this is the only way like I know how to do this without even crying right now. So yeah. So very much like a mess. And I think within this moment, this was the first time I knew that, do you know what, yeah, like retail's actually a bitch and people do not care. So I went to my manager and I was like, I can't do this, I need to go home, I actually can't do this. Like I literally just had a breakdown in the middle of Portobello Road, I can't stay at work, I need to go home. She looked at me, she was like, I understand that you're very upset, I understand that, but one of your colleagues called in sick, so you have to stay. I said, what? She was like, think of your team, Sartu. I said, pardon? I was thinking, oh, and as well, I'm one of those people, like, I don't like to disappoint others, and to have another thing on my mind was just so like, so yeah, basically I just stayed like, so that happened, so basically, and then I got diagnosed in November. Perfect. And then yeah, you still have to try and navigate through life and kind of like understand who you're becoming. And I think one of my downfalls in my journey after being diagnosed is that like, I grieved who I was before so much, because I really enjoyed who I was before. I was just carefree. I was able to be carefree, compassionate, loving, but at the same time be able to be confident and strong. And I think that's what I missed, was the fact that like I was able to have this demeanor about me that was so kind of like not a threat at all, but at the same time still have a way of assertiveness and just confidence within myself without needing to be so abrasive. And I felt like I lost my voice as well. And in the profession that I want to go into, which is consumer behavior and also to be a social scientist, it's all about communication and reading between the lines and connecting the dots and being able to really understand and analyze people and communicate with people. And I felt like I lost my voice and I didn't know how to get it back. So I think that was one of the things I had to deal with as well after being diagnosed, the fact that I've lost this trait of mine, and I feel like I've lost my identity of who I am. And I kind of latched onto the whole idea of like, okay, for the longest time I didn't want this to, I have anxiety, but it's gonna be who I am now because it's comfortable for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, so it's really weird, like it became my identity. And I used to, like, even without even thinking, like, okay, I might not have a reaction to something, it might not have anything to do with like the fact that I have anxiety. But like I would kind of like prepare myself to know that, okay, you're gonna have a breakdown, you're gonna have a panic attack, you're gonna have a fit, you're gonna have a harsh moment right now because you have anxiety. It's gonna happen. And sometimes it doesn't happen, and I was like putting that to the universe and predicting this when that necessarily might not happen, and expecting the worst basically, and just being comfortable in my own little bubble of just anxiety and being that friend that has anxiety, if that makes sense. So I went through so many different stages of like being so ready to get better, to losing, to like grieving who I was before, to like being comfortable with the whole notion of being anxious and having anxiety because it felt comfortable to me. But with me, I think at one point, and I'm just going to be honest, at one point I didn't want to get better, if that makes sense, because once you have to try to get better, you have to stay consistent, and the whole idea of me failing at that and relapsing and kind of like not being okay was something that I didn't want to deal with, and it scared me. So I was like, I was rather be this person and not deal with the whole like pressure of having to be a certain way, basically. And obviously that's not how it works. Of course, it's a thing where like it's natural to go through periods of times where you feel great and you feel amazing and feeling shit at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's part of life. But obviously in my mind, I didn't see it that way, and now I understand that how my own seasons and periods of how I feel, it's a pattern, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not capable of navigating through life or living. It's just the fact that's just my own natural pattern, and I need to keep on top of it and understand it as well. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So basically, so that was like end of 2015, going into 2016. 2016, I'm not gonna lie, 2016, 2017 was quite hard because I definitely dealt with the whole notion of grieving who I was, and this having this anxiety label plumped on my head, like this is me, and losing my voice, all those great things that happened like in those conjointing years. I also went back to like a previous role that I had before, and obviously they met me when I was 21, out of uni, fresh face, like woo, don't care, I'm very just like carefree and just fearless. And when I came back, a 23-year-old, anxiety ridden, doesn't know how to communicate well, having breakdowns every time a customer looks at her. They're like, who the fuck is this girl? So I think that even triggered me even more to kind of be like, you know what, like, who am I don't like who I am, like I didn't have a voice, like what the fuck, do you know what I mean, and stuff. So it did take a toll on like my behavior, and also like just the way I interacted and navigated through work and with clients and stuff. So that's just the way shit comes, so yeah. In 2017, I'll probably say was the time I actually realized and recognized the fact that like I have to make a change, and also the whole notion of like I see something happening here, and like you do feel like you have lost your voice, but you can get it back at the same time. And I didn't feel in that time period as well, I didn't feel as creative as I usually was, if that makes sense. Or did I don't know. See, it's all such a blur. Yes. June 10th, 2017, I got a new role. I keep changing jobs, it happens, but I'm blessed the fact that I'm able to kind of go from job to job. So start working at this new place, and I think I just turned into such a confrontational person. I think that was the time where I got angry and was just very confrontational. I feel like I had my voice, but I didn't know how to use it in the correct way. So I went from one extreme to another, like. So yeah, and then now we are, and then 2018, I was still trying actively just to have this new mindset of like, okay, you are going to go through different periods of your life, so you're going to go through different emotions. And I think I had this tug of war going on for a good year and a half. Even coming in 2019, I had that kind of tug of war and had that kind of like low pit moments, and also great triumphs and great highs as well. And I think what I've learned is that like I was saying prior to this, is that I just need to find my groove and find my flow, and understanding that you are going to get like this sometimes, but also know that that is temporary, So don't worry about it, but also knowing that when you're on your highs, that appreciate it, because you don't know how long this is gonna last. Even though that sounds like so horrible, but yeah, basically. So 2009, so May 2019, what I can truly say how I feel on this journey is that I feel very leveled and very balanced at the moment. And I am just really trying every single day. There's not like a day that doesn't go past where I ask myself, like, am I able to navigate through life? Can I do this? And the question is that no one really knows if they can do it. You just have to try. And I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to understand as well, and the fact that, like, there's nothing wrong with having a different mindset, a different concept and perspective on how you view life and how you want to view your life. You just have to be prepared that some other people might not think that way, and the construct of society might not fit that for you, so you might have to be the one to do it for yourself. And I think that's the one thing that I need to kind of put into consideration for my own sanity. And also what I've learned as well within this journey is the fact that, like, there's so many other people that are going through it too, and everyone is so different within their kind of experiences. And with that, it makes me even more kind of passionate with the fact that, like, we need to kind of allow this not to be a thing that is stigmatized at all, because there's no need. If it's something that is very common and is a natural kind of instinct for a majority of certain people, then why is it something that is like criticized or kind of like demonized? It doesn't mean that you're any less capable or any less able to live or do life. It just means that you do it in a different way and you experience life in a different way. And I think that's completely fine. And I think that's another thing that I've learned along the journey, is the fact that after the diagnosis, I view life so differently, and I was so reluctant in the way I viewed life, because I was like, this is not the way I like to view it. I liked it before, but at the same time, it's a thing where, like, it's one of those things where, like, maybe I just need to change my positioning of the view of where I'm sitting to appreciate the view. And I think that's what I had to do, is the fact that, like, I was able to kind of see the world for all it has to give in that type of sense, and all it has to offer, but also what it can take from a person. And yeah, I think 4 years being diagnosed has really allowed me to go through so many trials and tribulations, so many different emotions, so many different kind of pathways, so many different kind of elements of myself, from being so proactive in the first few weeks of it, being like, yes, meditate, I'm doing this, and to being very kind of reluctant to this new person or whatever, and missing who I was before, losing my voice, feeling like I lost my voice, feeling like I am not worthwhile or capable of life, hating who I was becoming because I was so aggressive and not having a filter at one stage, and like the way I viewed the world was just like horrible. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. Maybe because I felt horrible at myself. I don't know. And then going in, and then also now coming into it, just thinking like, how am I? And this, I think now is the stage where I'm just asking myself, how can I do this? And before it was like, will I do this? But now it's like, how can I do this? And which means that I can, but I just need to find a process and a way that works for me. And I think definitely like taking responsibility and taking life by my own hands, but knowing that yes, you do suffer from anxiety, SARTU. Yes, it is a bitch, but it's not who you are. It's just a part of me for right now. Not for right now, but for the rest of my life, it will be a part of me. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine, and that's completely fine. And some people as well might not understand it, they might not get it, they might just say certain things. That I've had people that have said certain things to me while I've been in like an episode, and I've literally all like tried to help, but it doesn't help. And it's like, it's no fault of their own, they don't know. And I'm happy that I was able to get this out, because it helps to show me how far I've come and how 4 years seems like such a blur. Not because I'm getting older and I can't remember, but like it just feels like such a blur. And it's probably because I'm in such a new space in my life right now of wanting to kind of actively solve and move forward into creating a solution, and to kind of help people see that, do you really think that people really want to be in this space and do not see the bigger picture? If anything, we see the bigger picture, which even makes it even worse for us, because we're like, I feel like this for no apparent reason, for whatever reason. And there's people that are dying, suffering, doing this, blah, 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 blah. There's people worse off. Yes, we get that, but at the same time, I can't help the way that I feel. And I have that in my mind as well, so that weighs on me even more, thinking that I'm a horrible person. So it's like a domino effect. So I think the best thing to do is just to listen and to understand. That's it. But yeah, probably makes no sense, but I thought that I would want to make this video just to... so much for watching the video. And let's just continue just to be good to ourselves, good to others, and just continue just to be the best possible versions of ourselves that we can be, and in turn we can be good to others. That sounds good to me. That sounds great. That sounds great. Right. Yeah. Thank you so much.